heading, and in particular where our industry is heading. Bitkub is, I'm from Bitkub, by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. Bitkub is one of the very few fortunate private companies to be attending Davos World Economic Forum, together with the other 9 big corporations from Thailand. We meet once a year, and we discuss important trends of where the world is heading. I can tell you one important trend for our region, and it's a good news, actually. After 2024, a lot of investment will be entering our region. Our region, as in Southeast Asian region. We will be entering our golden era, where we'll be receiving an unprecedented amount of investment. But there's a big but. The new investment will not be entering traditional industries. They'll be entering a new space. And one take-home message for today, very short, 3 key words, right, for you to remember where the opportunities are. These are the 3 key keywords are digital, green, revolution. Right? Let me repeat. Digital, green, revolution. These are the areas that we will see an unprecedented growth, and investment would be entering a new sector. And we'll be receiving a lot of investment into the Southeast Asian region. I also attended the Summer Davos last month, and I would like to share a few interesting statistics. China's digital economy accounts for 44% of its GDP. The second largest economy in the world. 44%, almost half of that GDP comes from digital economy now. The year before was only 40, now we're at 44. And CEO of Foxconn said, you know the Foxconn, the iPhone manufacturer, right? He also attended. He said, digital economy would be bigger than anything combined in the future. Okay? And China's also account for 36 to 38% of the global GDP. ASEAN Pacific account for 70%, 2/3 of the global GDP now. In other words, we have a louder voice. We are in the global south, where 2/3 of the world's population are living, versus the global north, right? 1/3 of the world's population are living. Global south, our voices are getting louder and louder, right? The growth of BRICS nation is already exceeding G7. Since we know that the opportunities would be coming into our region, if we were to work backwards, what do we have to do today? First of all, we have to prepare the right human capital. Without the right human capital, we cannot attract investments. And human capital will not be old skill sets. Human capital will be coming from the new industries. Another interesting statistics, in the next 5 years, 40% of our current skill sets will be obsolete, including myself. In only the next 5 years, we have to go back to school. And in the next 10 years, 1/3 of the world's population would have to go back to school to reskill, to upskill. Do you know why? Because we're at this Web3 or the 4th industrial revolution, whatever you want to coin it, right? Inflection point, where technology would escape velocity. Almost there, right? Do you know the significance of this? It is so important that by next year, the next winter Davos, the main theme of Davos next year is purely on AI. Only on AI next year, where it will change the future of work, it will change many business models. But This is a Web3 stage. Someone might be wondering, why am I talking about the importance of AI? Let me clarify. Web3 is not just blockchain technology or cryptocurrency. Just to be clear on the definition, right? You want to call it Web3 or do you want to call it fourth industrial revolution technology? I attended the opening remarks of Tianjin Summer Davos, and Xi Jinping, President of China, did not come. Prime Minister attended instead, and he gave an opening remarks. He said that in the next decade, China is about to reset the new IT infrastructure for the whole country. Meaning that we're not talking about, 4G fiber optic internet. We're talking about internet from the sky. This is the fourth industrial revolution infrastructure. We're not talking about two-dimensional internet where this device only allows our internet experience to be two-dimensional or a laptop computer. We're talking about AR, VR, and MR technology, where the internet would be heading towards a three-dimensional internet. We're not talking about smart watches, only smartphones or laptops. We're talking about IoT, Internet of Things, where everything would be smart, right? We are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, which would disrupt almost virtually every sector. I think my favorite buzzword or quote is for AI, for you guys to grasp the understanding, is this. When the first arrival of the printing press, what does the printing press do to the world? The printing press democratizes knowledge, right? Because it lowers the cost of printing books, economy of scale. What did the internet do for our world? The internet democratizes information or communication sharing. If you guys remember, it used to be so expensive for international phone calls, right? 30 baht, 60 baht per minute. Now everyone gets on a call for free, right? What does blockchain do to the world? Blockchain democratizes value, free flow of value. What about AI? What does it do to the world? AI is democratizing technical abilities. Let me repeat. AI will democratize technical abilities. Do you guys know that World Economic Forum now has reset a skill taxonomy? And the new skill taxonomy mostly are heavily weighted on soft skills, nothing on hard skills, nothing on technical abilities, because AI is democratizing that soon, very soon. And they are now setting up education accelerator in many different countries, including Vietnam, including Cambodia. Hopefully, they'll be coming to Thailand soon to reskill and upskill our workforce. Coming to the last 10 minutes, I would like to stress the emphasis on the future of the internet. Once you see the bigger mega trends of where the world is heading. Digital green revolution, digital economy already accounts for 50% almost of the main second largest economy in the world. It'll be bigger than anything. We don't have enough time to talk about green supply chain or green revolution, but definitely it's going to be very disruptive as well. Green supply chain, right? Green taxonomy. Let's narrow down to the fourth industrial revolution technology. The key word here is not evolution. The key word here is revolution, meaning that we don't rely on old existing infrastructure. We don't rely on mobile phone. We don't rely on 4G fiber optic internet. We don't rely on private servers. We're talking about internet from the sky. We're talking about the IoT. We're talking about big data, 3D printing, blockchain technology, right? These are all the new IT infrastructure that would combine, right? That would compound And eventually, it would create many new business models. What would it do to the future of the internet? I think the best way to understand this is to compare between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. Web 1, if you guys remember, do you remember the times when you used home telephone to connect to the internet? Those are the legacy infrastructure. And the best experience that you could get from the Web 1 era was a one-way communication, or what we call a read-only, right? For Web 2, now we have 4G fiber optic. We don't have to pray for the internet to be connected, right? We have cloud computing replacing private servers. We have smartphones, we get access to internet anytime, anywhere we go. What's the best experience for Web 2? A two-dimensional, two-ways communication, right? We can read and write. Users-generated content, social media. With the arrival of the fourth industrial revolution technology, internet would be coming from the sky. The devices would be three-dimensional, AR, VR, MR, right? Technology, three-dimensional internet. And it won't just be two ways, it would be multi-dimensional ways interaction, no longer a two-way. And contents won't be users generated, it would be AI, artificial intelligence generated. And we can not only read, we can not only write, we can read, write, and own. These are the three keywords of Web3, right? The ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to co-own, co-create, co-benefit. And what about the regulations? Again, regulations need to be updated. You know, in Thailand, we only recently had regulations on PDPA. I'm sure many of you in many countries only just get started as well. Or the rights to be forgotten. Because during our human history, all of a sudden there's a cloud computing technology happening, and you know, if we are no longer here, we are still remembered on the internet. So we need to have this rights to be forgotten, right? Regulations. Again, with Web3, internet would be decentralized, right? What about privacy, right? What about security? We would need to set up different protocols. And do you know there's an experiment now on AI? By the way, AI is part of the Web3 fourth industrial revolution technology. Have you guys been to a hospital where, do you know the MRI machine in the hospital, in the tunnel? You know, our brain, there are two parts, right? The prefrontal cortex, where we use this part to analyze analytical. It's an analytical brain, process language, numbers. And we have two parts, the limbic brain, the emotional part, right? This experiment asked the AI to scan the prefrontal cortex of a man inside the MRI machine with a photo sticking in front, under the tunnel. And the AI can scan the energy movement between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic brain without seeing the photo. And the AI can tell exactly that the man is looking at a photo of a giraffe eating leaves on the tree without looking at the photo. You know what's worse? The second experiment was to ask that man to close his eye and imagine any picture in his head. Same experiment, scan the brain movements. AI could tell exactly what the man was thinking. You're talking about PDPA. This is the ability to read mind, right? With this new, not curated or ranking AI, we're talking about generative AI now, right? The ability to read minds. So I'm sure regulations will need to catch up as well. And you know, Bitkub is, again, very fortunate. We're part of the World Economic Forum, and at the Davos meeting, we have a small crypto forum that we meet once per year. The members are You guys know Brian Armstrong of Coinbase? You guys know Brad of Ripple? You guys know Jeremy USDC or Circle? These are the members and Bitkub. And we meet once per year. And talking about regulations, we met just in January this year. After the incidents of FTX, Luna, all these scams, incidents, most likely we've been discussed in our forum that US regulations would likely to take a long pause, at least for the US economy. They are in the wait and see approach. And one of the members said since January that most likely US customers can potentially only be trading Bitcoin as a single asset class. And alternative coins could potentially be classified as securities. Those were the discussions that took place since January, not recently on the news, since January, right? And I can tell you the truth that most of the central banks around the world are also working on CBDCs. They despite crypto, by the way. They hate crypto. But they know that they cannot just ban or forego this technology. They have to live with it. So now we are working on standardization of governance, standardization of transparency, standardization of scalability, right? Or even the definition of different tokens are still not clear, even at least in the US. Right? But I'm glad that we see positive trends, at least in Hong Kong. You guys are pushing out the digital assets regulations in Hong Kong, and I hope there'll be more Web3 digital assets company emerging. We see, big funds like BlackRock, Fidelity, all the biggest funds of the funds in the world are filing for ETFs. Even, Fidelity Digital Assets CEO said that he embedded KPIs into all of his employees. If you want a bonus, we have to somewhat deal with digital assets. So these are good developments. But in order for Web3 to scale, I think we have to work on standardization of technology, standardization of regulations, standardization of governance. Even though new technologies would unlock big potential, big capabilities, there are hidden risks that would emerge with new technologies as well. But I'm positive that we can, enter our golden era and we can grasp maximum or the most opportunity into our region. Remember, I have 2 minutes left. If you don't remember anything from this talk today, one take-home message, again, I would like to repeat. The biggest opportunities going forward, 3 keywords: digital, green, revolution. And after 2024, ASEAN would be entering our golden era. We have a louder and louder voice. Asia Pacific accounts for 70% of a global GDP already. I hope today we can quickly improve our human capital to prepare for the future of technology so that we can maximize the opportunity that would be coming to our region very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. Thank you so much.
A big round of applause. Thank you, Kun Jirayut.